Good morning, everyone. You may be seated. And so this morning we'll have a very brief ceremony for a very important signing. Let me start off, though, with the formal acknowledgements. Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. The Honorable Daryl, Minister of Science, Energy, Telecommunications, and Transport. Herein, we'll call it MSET. Mr. David Millward, representing His Excellency, Mr. Mark Burnham, the Canadian High Commissioner to Jamaica. Ambassador Rocky Mead, the Permanent Secretary at the Office of the Prime Minister. Mrs. Olive Wilson-Cross, the Acting Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications, and Transport. And again, we're going to say MSET after this. Ambassador Sharon Miller, the Chief Technical Director and now the officer in charge at this time, acting on behalf of the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Mr. Howard Shearer, the Board of Director at the Canadian Nuclear Laboratories Limited. And yesterday, everyone, Mr. Shearer got a national honor, the Commander of the Order of Distinction. Please give him a round of applause. We celebrate our heroes, especially our modern-day nation builders in Jamaica. Team leads from our Canadian partner agencies, Mr. Fred Dermarker, the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Atomic Energy of Canada Limited, Mr. Jack Craig, the Chief Executive Officer of the Canadian Nuclear Laboratories Limited, Dr. Paris Leawai, the junior, by the way, his father is senior, Chairman of the International Center for Environmental and Nuclear Sciences at the University of the West Indies, Mona, Professor Charles Grant, International Center for Environmental and Nuclear Sciences, also at the University of the West Indies, Mona, other members of the delegations from the partner agencies in Canada and, of course, in Jamaica, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, a very pleasant Tuesday morning to you. And I stress Tuesday morning because yesterday was a holiday, so most of us are thinking that today is Monday, and especially since the Prime Minister says they're going to have a cabinet meeting, most of us are tricked into thinking that today is Monday. So happy Tuesday morning to you, and welcome to the signing ceremony for the Memorandum of Understanding for the Advancement of Nuclear Technologies Adoption in Jamaica. That means we're going to open up a new world of possibilities in terms of technologies in Jamaica. So having established the protocols, may we ask then that the other speakers who come up, if you would observe those protocols and just go right into your speeches so that we can keep our presentation. So about a maximum of 45 minutes, maybe 30 if we're lucky. And so may I then ask Mr. Howard Shearer, CD, gives me pleasure to say CD, Board Director of the Canadian Nuclear Laboratories and CEO of Hitachi Canada, to make his remarks.
Thank you. Good morning. All protocols observed. I want to begin by looking at the road that brought us here. And it started in 2023, October 24th exactly, when the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Right Honorable Mr. Holness, visited Canadian Nuclear Laboratories. Why did he do so? He saw the potential and the possibilities to bring economic development and a great impact into Jamaica's transition from fossil fuel to a greener type of energy. And he came and from Ottawa and completed a full meeting at CNL, in an hour and a half, and then flew back to Ottawa. That was a seed, and I congratulate the Prime Minister of having that vision. And here we are today, exactly 1 year later, when we are now signing an MOU. And the roadmap to that MOU included the collaboration and the support of members of MSET, for example, the Prime Minister's Office, the Attorney General's Office, and of course the CNL team. So I congratulate everyone today for their vision, their action. Words are great, but when you can execute efficiently, like this was done, starting from the Prime Minister's first step, throwing that pebble into the stream and looking at the ripples that brought that MOU today, I say we can be proud of where we are. And so with that, I thank all who have supported P.S. Palmer, Mr. Vaz, all the team members. And I'm happy to be here, and better days, the potential of what can be realized economically, medically, is phenomenal. So thank you for the time to address you, and I'll yield to the next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shearer. You mentioned that, this is all about possibilities and potential, very, very crucial. But the Prime Minister has also been espousing that Jamaica also, especially the new Jamaica, must be known for seamlessness, sustainability, and satisfaction. And that it is less than a year, just a few more days to a year, that the Prime Minister initiated this with you, and we're getting it done today, speaks volumes to what we're doing. Thank you so much, Mr. Shearer, for your remarks. Let's now then move to Mr. Fred Dermarker, the President and CEO of the Atomic Energy of Canada Limited.
Thank you very much. Most Honourable Prime Minister Holness, Honourable Minister Vaz, my distinguished members of Jamaican Cabinet, and my esteemed colleagues from Canada, and ladies and gentlemen, it is with immense gratitude that I stand here before you. Thank you, Prime Minister Holness, for hosting this remarkable event. This is my first time in Jamaica, and I want to say that it's been a real pleasure to spend the last few days seeing your beautiful country and being warmly welcomed by its beautiful people. I have Howard to thank for touring me around. I'm deeply honored to be in your presence here today, in the presence of members of the Jamaican Cabinet, to sign this MOU, this Memorandum of Understanding, to build on our past and to advance our ongoing discussions on nuclear technology, including the production of nuclear power and other clean energy sources, the management of waste, and the production and use of radioisotopes. This event is a testament to the strong and enduring relationship between our nations. It's a privilege to be part of such a significant gathering. And I'm humbled by the opportunity to engage with such distinguished individuals to advance the dialogue between our nations in the field of nuclear science and related technologies. Jamaica is an excellent partner for Canada in advancing the application of nuclear science and technology. As the only country in the Caribbean to operate a nuclear research reactor, the Slowpoke 2, which I'm proud to say is also of Canadian design, Jamaica is a leader in fostering regional collaboration in nuclear science and technology. Canada is an excellent partner for Jamaica. Canada has a long history of leadership in nuclear science and technology, having pioneered nuclear energy production, the development and deployment of isotopes for nuclear medicine, and the application of nuclear science to the study of materials. More recently, we have become expert at the management and long-term disposal of nuclear waste. From mining uranium from the ground to the disposal at the very end of the process, Canada has capabilities that it can share with Jamaica. The signing of this MOU brings two excellent partners together. I have no doubt that together we can achieve great things. Prime Minister Holness, I want to congratulate you on your vision as well for nuclear science. There is no question in my mind that nuclear is essential for advancing energy, for advancing health. But not only does it do that, nuclear brings with it an engine for the economy. So it solves more problems and offers more solutions than most other technologies available to us. I look forward to the continued collaboration and friendship between our nations. We should not delay in taking the next step, which is to get together to develop a concrete set of actions. By doing so, we will transform the words in the MOU we're about to sign into tangible outcomes. And that's why here today, I'm joined by Jack Craig, the CEO of Canadian Nuclear Labs. Canadian Nuclear Labs is the executing portion of Atomic Energy of Canada Limited, and it is through Canadian Nuclear Labs that we will be working this partnership. Once again, thank you, Prime Minister Holness, for your gracious hospitality and for hosting this exceptional event.
Mr. Dermarker, you spoke all facts. Thank you so much. Jamaica is a leader. There's no Jamaican who will not tell you that. And we are great partners. We've proven that over the years with so many people. The brand Jamaica is known far and wide. So thank you so much for being a willing partner with us as well. Indeed, this is, in fact, a fascinating and exciting venture that opens up a whole new world for our people in Jamaica. And a man that drives a lot of opening up, and ensuring that, we get efficient and does not see barriers at all as a minister is the next person who will speak. If it can't be done, he will take up his own papers and say, let me walk this through myself. I speak of none other than the Honorable Daryl, the Minister of MSET.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister, other distinguished guests. Special congratulations to Mr. Shearer on his award yesterday. It is an honor to bring greetings as we mark a significant milestone in Jamaica's journey towards sustainable energy development. The signing of this Memorandum of Understanding between the Canadian Nuclear Laboratories, Atomic Energy of Canada Limited, and the Government of Jamaica. This MOU represents a significant advancement in Jamaica's pursuit of innovative and clean sustainable energy solutions, focusing on nuclear research and development. This MOU also represents the opening of new doors for collaboration in the field of nuclear research and development, an area that holds great promise for our nation's energy future through responsible energy management. It establishes a framework for partnership in areas such as nuclear power production, waste management, and the use of radioisotopes. By exploring the peaceful use of the atom, nuclear power offers a path to diversity of Jamaica's energy resources, ensuring a stable and resilient energy future for our nation. The world is increasingly recognizing the need for diversified energy sources, and nuclear power is emerging as a key player in this transition. By harnessing nuclear energy, we can stabilize our baseload power supply while reducing our carbon footprint. This agreement signifies our intent to explore the potential of nuclear energy as a clean and reliable option for Jamaica. In addition to power generation, this MOU encompasses critical areas such as the management of nuclear waste. We are committed to pursuing safe and effective waste management practices, ensuring that we protect our environment and, of course, our communities. The applications of radioisotopes extend far beyond energy. They play a crucial role in nuclear medicine, enhancing healthcare outcomes and improving the quality of life of our citizens. This partnership will enable us to advance in these vital fields. A key aspect of this agreement is the exchange of scientists, engineers, and other specialists. This collaboration will foster the sharing of knowledge, skills, and best practices, driving innovation in research, development, and practical applications. Together, we will build out a network of expertise that will benefit both Jamaica and Canada. Through organized seminars and meetings, we will ensure that our professionals remain at the forefront of nuclear technology and its peaceful applications. This knowledge transfer is essential for building local capacity and empowering our workforce. Ladies and gentlemen, today's signing is more than just a formal agreement. It represents a shared vision for a sustainable energy future. It is a commitment to collaboration, innovation, and responsible development. I'm confident that through this partnership, we will unlock new opportunities for growth, sustainability, and progress in Jamaica. I want to extend my gratitude to everyone involved in making this agreement possible, especially our partners from Canada, Together, we're embarking on a journey that promises to benefit not only our countries, but also generations to come. Thank you.
Efficiently done. Thank you so much, Minister Vaz. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a man who really is the champion of sustainability and resilience in terms of how we look at energy in Jamaica and how we even deal with our economy in terms of resilience and sustainability. May I present to you Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica.
Thank you, Naomi. Minister Vaz, thank you for your presentation. May I acknowledge Mr. David Millward, representing the High Commissioner from Canada, permanent secretaries and heads of entities who are here, our friends in the MOU, and a special acknowledgement to Mr. Howard Shearer, CD, on your award yesterday, very well deserved. Mr. Fred Dermarker, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Atomic Energy of Canada, Mr. Jack Craig, Chief Executive Officer of the Canadian Nuclear Laboratories. Welcome all, welcome to Jamaica. Today marks a pivotal moment in Jamaica's energy transformation as we take a bold and forward-thinking step by signing this Memorandum of Understanding with Canadian Nuclear Laboratories and Atomic Energy of Canada Limited. This partnership reflects our government's unwavering commitment to diversifying our energy portfolio and exploring new, clean, and sustainable energy sources for Jamaica. But let me be clear, this is just the beginning. The purpose of this MOU is not just to explore possibilities, but to bring possibilities to life. This is not a symbolic signing. This is not public relations. This is about Jamaica exploring technology, embracing technology for its economic development. And it starts with finding partners like our partners in Canada. We understand the concerns of many Jamaicans regarding safety. We have watched so many movies and heard so many things about nuclear. And usually what we don't know, we fear. Well, one way of getting over fear is getting to know. So this MOU, before it does anything else, will provide us with knowledge and skills. So that's the first step. It's about getting knowledge. I would say a little bit more about that because Jamaica is not a stranger to nuclear. But we should also say that Jamaica is also very cognizant of the importance of protecting the environment. So as we pursue our understanding and depth of knowledge of nuclear, it is both with the understanding that we must protect the environment, but we must also gain the knowledge of how do we use nuclear to protect the environment, because nuclear is an important part of protecting the environment. Jamaica, by the way, is not alone in looking to nuclear and nuclear power as a potential solution to energy issues and climate change. Countries like France have long harnessed the power of nuclear energy in a safe and effective manner. In fact, France generates around 68% of its electricity from nuclear power, setting an example for the world by demonstrating how nuclear can be reliable and a long-term solution to reducing dependency on fossil fuels. And by the way, this long-term and reliable fuel source, energy source. It's not just about environmental sustainability and managing climate change. In the growing complex geopolitics of the world, countries that are less reliant on fossil fuels find themselves in a much better position in terms of how they are able to navigate not just the geopolitics, but the external shocks that energy markets can create on their economy. So, similarly, Canada, with whom we are signing this MOU agreement today, has 15% of its electricity generated by nuclear energy. And Canada is known for the maintenance of uncompromising standards in nuclear. These examples show that with proper regulation of the technology and the embrace of technological advancement, nuclear can be a game changer. In fact, today's nuclear technology, especially small modular reactors, is far safer and more adaptable than it was in the past. So small modular nuclear reactors offer enhanced safety features, reduced environmental impact, and a cost-effective solution for small countries like Jamaica. That's really where our interest lies, in small modular nuclear reactor, a technology that is rapidly developing. Of course, there are those who are going to say, well, why not wait until this technology is mature? The problem is anything that has to do with nuclear requires a long period of time. And it requires the development of local capabilities. If you don't do it now, then not only will you have to import the capital and the actual small modular nuclear reactor, you're going to have to import the technological skills and expertise as well, which will increase the cost of deployment. So Jamaica has to see what is going to come in the future, what is going to materialize in the future, and develop the expertise to be able to take advantage of what will come in the future. And this is what this MOU is about. It's about putting us in a position to take advantage of the future. The future may not materialize, but you will have skills that you could use for other things, as you will see as we go to discuss a little bit further in my presentation about what this nuclear science is all about. It's not just about nuclear energy. Jamaica's journey with nuclear technology began in 1984. Yes, Jamaica has nuclear expertise. And in 1984, Jamaica established the Caribbean's first and only nuclear reactor at the University of the West Indies, Mona, with the support of the European Union. And as you heard, this was a Canadian design reactor. The facility is operated by the International Center for Environmental and Nuclear Science, ICENS, and it has been a beacon of nuclear research for 4 decades, advancing studies in agriculture, health, and environmental protection. Clearly, most persons would immediately appreciate that nuclear science is a very important part of treating cancers, for example. But there are other ways in which nuclear science is used in medicine. Many Jamaicans may not know that nuclear science features heavily in agriculture, not only in extending food life, but in also treating with pests. It also helps with environmental science, lots of technology for X-rays and looking at the earth and the oceans and so forth. All of that technology and expertise we need to develop here in Jamaica. So, and we've been doing that, by the way, quite effectively at the University of the West Indies through ICENS. And not just effectively, we have been doing it safely because the reactor is still operational. I think that's an important point to stress, that Jamaica is the only country in the Caribbean that has this capability. And we must now move to the next level of turning this now into an economic benefit for the country. Currently, approximately 85% of Jamaica's energy comes from fossil fuels, a dependency that leaves us vulnerable to external shocks and global oil and natural gas price fluctuations. We have already made great strides in diversifying our energy mix. We have done exceptionally well in integrating solar, wind, and natural gas, and we do have some hydroelectric power, but there's far more to be done. Given Jamaica's current energy demands, we are cognizant that there has to be a very well thought out mix. If you have too many renewables versus solid state power of energy, you could have an unstable grid. So you have to have energy that is not subject to intermittency, and nuclear offers that as well. But just to be clear, we have started to explore the development of pumped hydro storage and waste to energy to give us firm energy capacity so that we can take on more renewables. So it is a comprehensive approach to Jamaica's energy security. Now, countries like the United States, China, and Russia are rapidly developing small modular nuclear reactors as a key component of their future energy systems. And Jamaica, as I've said, we're putting ourselves in a position to be able to rapidly take advantage of the technology when that technology is mature and ready to be deployed in countries like Jamaica. We know that safety is at the forefront of everyone's mind when it comes to nuclear energy, and rightly so. But I want to emphasize that nuclear energy today is not what it was even a decade ago. Modern nuclear reactors, particularly SMRs, are built with fail-safe mechanisms that significantly reduce the risk of accidents. We know that some of the designs shut down automatically, and they have fail-safe designs built in. Furthermore, as part of this exploration, we are working with global experts to ensure that every aspect of nuclear energy, particularly waste management, is handled with the highest international standards. Countries like Finland and Sweden have developed world-class systems for safety in terms of storing nuclear waste, and we will draw on their experience to ensure that Jamaica follows the best practices for protecting our environment and our people. I want to touch on an area which I know many Jamaicans can identify with, and that is the cost of living. When I was in Canada last year and I was reading Canadian newspapers and following the political debate there, I said, wow, it's the same discussion in Jamaica. No different. In fact, when I met with Prime Minister Trudeau, we were both lamenting together that international and global events have impacted the general price levels in both our countries, things over which we neither contributed to or had anything to do with. But such is the world. And most Jamaicans would tell you that since the pandemic and the war in the Ukraine, that the cost of living has increased. Not just the price of food, which is what has impacted most Jamaican households, but the price of electricity, of energy. And of course, you would know that the pandemic also changed the way in which households use electricity. More people are working from home, and therefore they are consuming more electricity, and therefore they have to pay for more energy consumption, and therefore there is this impact on the cost of living for most Jamaicans. And of course, once the cost of energy is high, there is a ripple effect right throughout. We have very little that we can do in managing the global price of energy. We do have long-term contracts, but some of them are subject to fluctuations. What we try to do as best as we can is to diversify away from fossil fuels. Now, even then, the capital cost of putting in place wind farms and solar farms still fairly high, but what we're seeing is that those costs are coming down, and the cost per unit of energy for renewables are also coming down. So we are working very, very hard. We have, Minister Vaz reminded me, we have just gone out with 100 megawatts of renewables for under procurement, and we have another 168 in total. 268 in two tranches. So we're doing 268 megawatts of renewables in two tranches. Perfect. So we will have a greater proportion of our electricity generation from renewables, which will be far more competitive. But even then, it is not likely to immediately result in a reduction in your fuel price, because it takes time. It will take about 2 years for all of this to come to fruition, which is why we are taking the steps now, because if we were to go to nuclear, it would take 10 years before you could bring a plant online. So we need to take these steps now so that in 10 years, when these plants become viable, we are right there. We won't have to wait 10 more years to bring them online. So this is the benefit, of course, of having governments think strategically. The voters, the average Jamaican, probably won't see the use or the benefit of this to their cost of living today, but you're going to see the benefit of it as we progress into the future. So yes, this move is about reducing your cost of living, a major part of it being the cost of energy. These moves, for example, that we're making today to transfer our energy production capabilities from fossil fuel to renewables, those policy decisions were taken in 2009. 2009. And we are only now getting to the point where we're seeing it coming to fruition. That's how long it takes. And therefore, we don't want to have to wait that long anymore. Let's take the decisions to put us in advantageous positions. Let's take those decisions now. So, our nuclear MOU will put us in a good position for the integration of nuclear energy in our energy mix. But it will put us in an even better position to develop a nuclear industry in Jamaica. And that industry could comprise medicine, whether it is the repair of equipment, the design of equipment, the integration of nuclear technology in equipment by virtue of having a trained and competent labor force in nuclear. We could attract investments here. We could also attract medical operations here that use nuclear. In agriculture. But most Jamaicans will immediately see the benefit in this MOU when we are able to have our Jamaicans study with the experts in Canada. recently, I was in Delaware, and I met a Jamaican young lady who introduced herself as a nuclear scientist. And I was shocked. Jamaica actually has nuclear scientists. She studied abroad, and she's working with the federal government. And there are many Jamaicans who are trained in this regard, and they are working abroad. And what we need to be doing is to providing this pathway to develop a new educational pathway for our Jamaicans who have the capability, the natural talent and skills to be able to hone that by having this pathway for training. And that could be facilitated with this MOU with Canada. So in effect, what we're trying to do is to create an ecosystem of skills, of understanding the laws and the regulations, and understanding what you call the use cases for nuclear that can be applied in Jamaica. And indeed, it's not therefore just the diversification of energy, but the diversification of our economy. And that is how we get to growth. We get to growth when we bring in new pillars of the economy. We cannot continue to depend on tourism, global services, agriculture, financial services as our major foreign exchange earners. We need to bring in new industries, and this MOU should be looked at in that light, Jamaica being very instrumental in developing a new industry in nuclear. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I was able to allay fears, open minds, and increase expectations. Thank you.
Prime Minister, thank you so much. I think you either had a timer or you did it expertly, because right on the dot of midday, you ended. So thank you so much. You know, Mr. Dermarker, the Prime Minister is in him you find a very strategic visionary as you move to get the MOU signed, because while this may seem as a high-level approach to many who may not understand the benefits for them, the Prime Minister has certainly outlined for the average Jamaican what really this means for them. And so he connected the dots quite expertly to ensure that Jamaica has a comprehensive approach to the development and the advancement of where we can go in the country, not just through our energy and our economy, but really where it matters to people in their households, where they can see it benefiting them. So thank you so much, Prime Minister. And 40 years after ISENS came, look at it, in 1984 it came, and now in 2024 we are signing. So congratulations on this momentous occasion. And now let us start the signing ceremony. May I ask Mrs. Olive Wilson-Cross, the Acting Permanent Secretary at MSET, as well as Mr. Jack Craig, to be on the signing desk as well. May we ask that you all be seated as we begin the signing ceremony. All right, this is quite crucial. Ambassador, or Chief State Protocol Ambassador Sandra Grant Griffith is guiding. And so we will have Mrs. Wilson Cross beginning the signing, and then there are witnesses, including the Prime Minister, who will witness the entire event. Yes, so you'll have some witnesses and observers as well as we organize. So once the signing is complete, we'll invite all the other partners to come as well, and just for a photo opportunity, be able to just get you there. So Mr. Shearer and others will invite you to come back and stand behind to ensure. All right, wonderful. So Mrs. Cross, as we get the photographers ready, you can begin, and then we exchange all the copies to ensure that everyone is available. If you could just follow the direction of the photographers so that they see those who are observing as well. Professor Grant and Professor Leowai. Yes, if you could as well for the photo. So you stand right here. I'm so sorry. Yes, indeed. Eye sense is crucial. All right. So one on this side and the other on the other side, please. I'm sorry. Prof, could you go on the other side for me to just balance it out?
No, me one last detail. Let me
Yes.
put the Jamaican flag.
Yes, please. And photographers, if you could just hold for 1 second as we ensure that protocol-wise, both flags are also in place. This is a big moment for Jamaica and Canada in particular. If you could put it a little bit over. No, just in the middle. A little further in the middle. Yes, perfect. All right, I think all our partners are complete in the signing. All witnesses have signed as well? Fantastic. So then, if you could have the pens all back in hand, that would be perfect. Wonderful. Thank you. All right.
If you want to adjust it.
It's perfect as it is. Thank you. All right. And may we then just have a quick handshake between the Prime Minister and Mr. Dermarker as well. And Minister, if you could as well, just ensure that we have that in place. Very good. All the others, please gather right around where you were, but just both players in the center. Yes. There you go. Perfect. Thank you. Mr. Craig? And with Mr. Craig, a handshake, yes. Wonderful. Mr. Craig, if you could, having signed, could you also do a handshake with the Prime Minister for me? Not quite, but it's also important, sir, for the moment to be captured. Fantastic. Thank you, everyone. And so our very brief ceremony then is complete. Thank you to everyone who attended. We really appreciate it and look forward to seeing you once more at Jamaica House for another event. And may we ask or give our best wishes to all those who are visiting Jamaica, especially for the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good afternoon.